Good evening, and welcome to Analytics, Big Data in the Cloud, being celebrated this year in both Edmonton and Calgary as our second, in fact, it's our third convention to bring forth to you the magic of growing analytics in Alberta. What we've amassed over the course of the next 3 days are a number of people from industry and business. We bring government together, the policymakers, the influence makers, and we also have present, besides industry, business, and government, research. What we're attempting to do is build the broad profile or the broad foundation on which an analytics industry can be built. And to our great surprise over the course of the last couple of years, or maybe not to yours, we found 120 small businesses in Alberta already prospering through the delivery of analytics services. For those that don't quite understand what analytics is all about, analytics is simply using data as an aid or for automating decision-making, a transition that we thought started in the Middle Ages, but it appears now that we can assemble large amounts of data and we have the vehicles for sorting through that to find information. We have the capability of moving information right down to the individual level, which has dramatic implications, not just for shopping, as Walmart's already proven, or for construction, or for agriculture, but for democracy itself. And that is the capability of those that govern to understand where the citizens are at any one point in time, not at a mass level, but right at an individual level. These are extraordinary transitions, and it's called the personalization of business, or the personalization of services. I hope you're going to join us I hope you're going to enjoy us. Of course you're going to enjoy us. I hope you'll join us for the full 3 days. We have a networking reception tomorrow, which focuses very much on hackathons and speed dating for jobs, student innovation session, some extraordinary excitement. And then the convention itself on day 3, where those who have attended the conference and who wish to join us will be deliberating resolutions for further advancing the analytics industry in Alberta. So before dinner, I'm going to be introducing the Vice President of Research from the University of Athabasca, or Athabasca University, in that Athabasca University is the host for the rest of this evening. And with that, I'll leave it with you, Donna Roman. Thank you very much.
Welcome, everyone. It's my pleasure to bring greetings on behalf of Athabasca University. As a world leader in open and distance education, we're looking forward to joining you over the next couple of days to explore how big data, analytics, and the cloud can be used to solve real-world problems. I'm honored to serve as your host this evening and to open this second, what perhaps will become, annual conference. Before proceeding with our program, I'd first like to welcome our delegates who are here with us in Calgary, as well as our delegates who are joining us from Edmonton. We can't see you, but we think that perhaps you can see us. And we'd also like to welcome our delegates who are joining us via the Web TV network. I hope that you will enjoy the evening as it proceeds. It's now my pleasure to welcome Paul Painter to the podium to bring greetings from Calgary Economic Development. Paul.
Well, thank you very much, and I'd like to welcome everyone to this groundbreaking event. We're delighted to be co-hosting this with the City of Edmonton. I'd like to welcome you on behalf of the City of Calgary and Calgary Economic Development, and I'd particularly like to pay tribute to the tireless energy of Perry Kinkaide, whose passion and dedication on the subject of analytics continues to be a source of inspiration to all of us. So I'd be grateful if everyone could put their hands together to Perry for putting this together. So at Calgary Economic Development, we basically are the agency that really focuses on inward investment attraction and also helping Calgary companies succeed in the global marketplace. There's a lot of focus on energy, but there's also focus on other sectors, for example, finance, for example, clean tech, logistics has become a particularly important thing. And I think it's fair to say that analytics in different guises is relevant to all of those fields and really does form part of our ambition to diversify the city, but to play to the city's strengths. And analytics falls extremely well within that category. It fits our goal to make Calgary not just a leading energy centre, but the global energy centre, which is our goal. We're also a leading financial centre. We're now at number 17 on the Global Financial Centre Index, having come in at number 28 just last year. So we're clearly on the rise, and analytics, I think, is going to play an increasingly important part of us maintaining and growing our leadership in the energy and other sectors. So it's now my great pleasure and honour to introduce Michelle Rempel. Michelle is Member of Parliament for Calgary Centre North. She's also Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of the Environment. No small or unchallenging brief, I might say. And she's clearly a rising star, so we're delighted to have her here to open this event for us this evening. She was elected to represent Calgary Centre North in May 2011 and wasted no time in becoming Parliamentary Secretary to the Minister of the Environment later that month. Previously, Michelle was Director of the University of Calgary's Institutional Programs Division, and she built a strong reputation for successfully promoting innovative academic and business research partnerships. She's worked in the Technology Commercialization Division of the University of Manitoba, and also previously as a managerial consultant in Calgary, where she applied her knowledge of intellectual property management within a professional service framework in the areas of strategic planning, project management, process re-engineering, and marketing, where she gained valuable insight into the health and educational sectors. She holds a degree in economics, and that's not all. She was recently named one of Canada's top 100 most powerful women by the Women's Executive Network for her senior level work in directing a large team of professionals in the field of research and development administration. She's co-chair of the Conservative Party's National Policy Committee, and I've just been hearing about the major conference that the party will be having here this summer, so clearly she's going to be spending a lot more time in Calgary. She's previously chaired Alberta's CPC President's Council and was also previously co-chair of the Alberta Congress. She's a committed volunteer. She's planned events, raised tens of thousands of dollars, and acted as a volunteer leader for numerous local not-for-profit organizations, including the Children's Wish Foundation and the Northern Hills Community Association. So without further ado, please put your hands together in welcoming Michelle Rempel, MP, to the podium. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, and that's always an incentive to shorten my official bio, so thank you very much. As was just mentioned, I had a previous life before politics. It's something that most people forget when they talk to an elected official. But I actually had the pleasure of working in early stage research, and particularly my experience at the University of Calgary was one that was very rewarding. I worked within the university's sponsored research administration department, and I was quite honored to be part of several networks and initiatives that have matured and blossomed that are represented here today. So I just particularly want to acknowledge Dr. Frank Maurer and all the work that he did with SurfNet, and I'm very excited to hear that there's more to come there, as well as it's wonderful to see TechTerra emerge and do well. So congratulations to everyone that I used to work with who's here today, because it's always nice to have bragging rights when you're with colleagues in Ottawa to talk about the fact that Calgary is more than oil and gas. And you know, I think that's part of what the theme is here tonight. You know, Calgary economic development always has a focus on diversifying, not just diversifying the economy in areas where there isn't receptor capacity, but using that receptor capacity to springboard and leverage further economic opportunities within the city and within the province. And that's really why conferences like this are so important. Now, it's interesting to sort of have a viewpoint as a public policy maker, because it's looking at this area of research and this area of functionality from a different side of the coin. I have some prepared remarks here today, but government deals with big data in a major way. And I think that one of the challenges that we have as policymakers is asking ourselves not just how we use that data now, but how we're organizing it well into the future, such that our public policy can be informed in a way that's meaningful and impactful for years to come. I was talking to Dr. Maurer just very, very briefly about how potentially some of the work that they're doing around analytic research can be used to help with environmental monitoring. One of the policy initiatives that I was involved with this year was the launch of the Oil Sands Monitoring Network. That's a huge amount of data. So, as you know, the question about how we manage the oil sands is one of the greatest public policy debates that we're having right now. Having good data is not enough. It's how we use that and then translate that back into public policy is a huge challenge that we have. It's obviously that's just one example of many. The health sector is another component that we have to look at. But this is a tool that's not just something that we can look at as being static. We also have to look at the science of how this as a field will evolve, how we research, how we manipulate data. I'm married to an actuary, so my background's in economics. We have very romantic dinner table conversations, as you can imagine. But this is something that I'm so excited and so proud of that's going on today. So congratulations to the organizers. And as someone who sits in a file, as was mentioned, the environment file particularly, where the dialogue that we need to have has to be based on facts. It has to be based on meaningful data that has been interpreted in a way such that public policy can be influenced properly and sustainably for the future. What you're doing really is at the heart of that. And it's something I think a lot of people and a lot of Canadians don't realize. Analytics is the engine that runs our public policy. It's the engine that runs our research development. So congratulations for taking the initiative on coming together and discussing these topics. I certainly wish you well in your deliberations and look forward to hearing from many of you who, Dr. Maurer, I really want a lab tour this summer, so just noted. I look forward to hearing the results of your deliberations in the future. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Paul and Michelle, for setting the stage for our subsequent discussions over the next 2 days. I'd like to also add my congratulations to the program committee for putting together a tremendous group of speakers and presentations. I think there'll be lots and lots of excitement and lots of generative thought as we proceed.
Join the conversation next year as more cities become data-driven. Become a community partner. Contact us at info@abctech.ca.